Hey guys, this is Tyler with Tyler's Dragon Tarot. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, commenting, all that great stuff. I kind of liked what I did last time, so I think I'm going to do it again where I just do the reading instead of by sign, I do it by chart dominance, like elemental dominance in your chart. So I will be doing fire dominant people, water dominant people, earth dominant people, and air dominant people. So I like astrotheme.com. I'm not sponsored by them. This is just one that I found recently through recommendation from a astrology teacher of mine, and it's the first free website I've seen where the houses aren't like messed up, or there's not two signs in a row, because there's 12 houses. You're supposed to have one of each sign in the houses. So anyway, so I like it, and there's a little thing uh, you can select on the left hand side, I believe, that says what's dominant basically in your chart. And you can see I'm an Aries sun, moon, Venus. Like I got some strong fire, but it's actually second. Um, air is actually my dominant. So I would check that out, see what's dominant. And you could always see what resonates, because hell, I don't know. You could be like me with air dominant, but fire could still resonate better. Um, anyway, that's how I'm breaking down this video. I'm going to start with fire. And so let's get it. So with fire signs, or not fire signs, fire dominant charts. Um, in this video, I am going to be doing, um, sorry, I'm going to be doing a tower spread type of thing. So, like, some sort of event happened. Well, why did it happen? What can you learn? What's next? And then just to try to throw some love out there, a good quality about you. Just because, these things take its toll on people, and sometimes you just need a little hype. So, let's get it. So, first, why the tower fell. Uh, you know, I'm sorry. I guess I'm experimenting with this. I just thought I should probably go with what was the tower? Should be my first question. Sorry, making up the spread as I go. Sorry, fire. You guys are the you guys are the first, and I was just like, oh, I should probably do that. Okay, so what was the tower? So we got the High Priest. This is my ghost deck. I don't know, it just really called to me for this reading. Haven't used it in a while, but so it just feels like whatever this is, there was a lot of light, and it just got taken away. Like happiness, something that just seemed very promising, nurturing situation. Just I don't know what this could be. I'm hearing parents kicking you out, like getting kicked out, just a real reversal of like 1 minute it's super caring, the next minute it's get out of my life, I don't want to see you again type of energy off of this. So why did the tower fall? So we got the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, so I just see a little face in the river. I don't know how well you can see this card. I'll hold it up for a second to see if you can see it. I think that's it right there. Is that it? Yeah. Right above my finger. Anyway, there's also little swirls in it, and just makes me think of a whirlpool in the middle of this. And getting sucked into that whirlpool just this looks like it could be a lazy river just relaxing going along, but actually this flow is actually causing a lot of anxiety, and it feels like they're just getting sucked into somewhere they don't want to be in, where they couldn't really escape. So I don't know if that's necessarily you or if they have commitment issues. Um, let's what what made them feel one of you felt like this. I don't know if it's you or them, but so what was this feeling of avoidance of getting stuck, of getting sucked in, of scared of being here, even though the scenery around this is beautiful. Like there's just it should be peaceful, it should be relaxing, but it just wasn't for some reason. There was just something about it. So what was that something? The world. There just wasn't freedom in it. Like it was restrictive. Like so here there's a direction, there's a place where they're going. And there are plenty of people that would like this. A place to call home. It just feels like this person was a free spirit and they wanted to travel the world and they wanted a new opportunity. They don't want to be stuck in the same place. And that's how they felt. They felt like they were stuck. They like they couldn't spread their wings. I'm seeing these birds. They just wanted to fly. They wanted freedom. They wanted freedom. They didn't want restriction. They could just be a person who's not meant for a relationship, or uh, maybe that's it. Maybe I don't know. But there was some sort of anxiety, and they just felt like they had to get out. They needed their freedom. They needed their space. Maybe it's not so much the freedom. It could possibly be maybe they just didn't. There's a possibility. Is it codependent? Like, let me draw another card. Is there codependent vibes? Yeah. See, like, I feel like there was codependent vibes with this Seven of Cups. So I'm just seeing this person going out on a ledge there. Honestly, it kind of feels like they just want to be alone. They're sad, but they want to be alone and just get over it. And this ghost is like, "Hey, look at all this stuff. Look at what I can give you. This, like, what's gonna cheer you up? Like, constantly there for them. Like, I normally wouldn't say that's a bad thing, but maybe it was too much to them for some reason. Yeah, it felt like they didn't have any space, and that's what they wanted. That's what they needed. They just needed space, and they weren't getting it, so they had to break it off. And I don't know if this was communicated or if it was just a, all right, bye. So anyway, what can you learn? I feel like the importance of this is like, don't be checking up on people all the time. Like, let them have their space. You know, fire signs usually like their space, a little bit of independence. Um, well, I guess this is fire dominant, but still, if you're fire dominant, I mean, but so we got the Five of Pentacles here. Trying to look at this. They look like they're looking in two different directions to me, and I feel like that's telling me it's okay to let things go. whenever you're not lining up, right? Whenever you're when you want two different things, you compromise is important, but if it's so compromising that neither one of you really get what you want at all, like, why are you trying to make it work? Is basically what you want. Like, I feel like you wanted to be with someone and they wanted their space. Like, I honestly feel like you're confused. Like, maybe, or they are. You or them, because this could always be reversed. I think I'm just going to say them so I don't have to keep saying it. I'm going to assume they're the ones that wanted the space, but if it's you, it's you. They wanted space, more space. Like, it's almost like, okay, we can see each other like one time a week, and you're like, no, that's not enough. Like, maybe 3, 4, like, you get a little space. So not like totally clingy, but you want to see them. And that made you feel insecure and be like, okay, so what even is this if I get to see you like one day a week? Like, it just, it could probably work out like, maybe you two aren't necessarily toxic on your own, but together you were, basically. So when you're that different, when you want things ran different, so differently, and there's just no compromise, like, it's okay to let things go. In fact, you probably should, right? So, what's next? What's next? Okay, we got death. So, if you're new to tarot, or if you're just trying this for fun or whatever, death is not literally like death. It can just be transformation, transitions. It can be the end. There are endings and beginnings. It can be for something that's as little as ending a bad habit, a bad way of talking to somebody, to as big as, like, well, it can go bigger, I'm sure, but ending a relationship, like, that's not the biggest thing that can happen, but like, hell, I'm sure death could even really predict death, but that's not what it is. So, what's next? So, what is ending and a new beginning? So, I was going to draw another card here, but I feel like the death card is saying the end of these toxic relationships for you is what could be next. So, like, let's shed some light. Let's take some time to ourselves. See, he's wandering the woods. There's a lantern. It kind of reminds me of the Hermit card. So that kind of tells me, okay, let's isolate a little bit. We're supposed to be in isolation anyway, right? So let's isolate for a little bit. Let's figure out what we want. Okay? Figure out what you want. I don't know why I'm including me and you, but figure out what you want. Figure out who you are. Figure out what matters to you. Stop compromising. Like I said, compromise happens in a relationship, and I'm not trying to be like, meh, but like, when the compromise leaves you miserable, it's not a fair compromise. If either one of you is miserable. So, know what you want, and if you're not getting it, don't be afraid to go somewhere else. There are plenty of fish in the sea, right? Plenty. You don't have to settle. I just really feel like you need more confidence. Like, it almost feels like you're letting yourself be walked over here. Like, you're just settling for people that are just doing you dirty. And you're better than that. Okay? So, let's get to the good quality about you. Good quality about you. Okay. 2 cards want to pop out. So we got the Strength and the Moon. I feel like the Strength and Moon card is just, there's a lot of light in it. There's, and Moon can be disillusionment or illusionment. So the people are in the light in this card. I feel like what this is saying with the Strength card as well, with the pain coming out of the chest, it looks like pain coming out of the chest to me. No matter how much you get hurt, no matter how dirty people do you, you might not give them another chance, you may not give that particular person another chance to hurt you, but you don't stop being a good person. And that is a good quality about you. You have strength in believing who you are, and this is who you want to be. You want to be kind, you want to be caring, and you keep doing that. Just don't give your energy to the wrong person, Don't let people take advantage of you, because it feels like you may be getting taken advantage of. And I feel like maybe one more card wants to pop out. Five of Wands, yeah. This just screams manipulation to me. Don't let... See, it just feels like the manipulators put out so many swords that they finally grabbed one. They finally just succumb to the darkness that... Honestly, this is a depressing-ass card. It looks like he's ready to hurt himself. But they never had the power to make you grab it. It was just suggestion. You have that power. Remember that. Okay? You can get away from this. Like, it really just feels like they're stuck there. So, the minute you walk away, the further you get from it, the less you hear. So maybe it's time to distance yourself from these manipulators. Because, again, you're better than that. Okay. So, we are going to go on to the water dominant chart. 18 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. So, what was the tower? Water dominant charts. Okay, so we got this 8 of Wands and we got the Star. So, there's a lot of skeletons in it. I just keep hearing death, like the death card, which is the end of a cycle. It's not necessarily a physical death. It's, a transition, all that. So, and with this Star, it just really looks happy. It looks all that. They look like they're dancing under the moon, like. And it doesn't quite... I'm going back and forth because it doesn't quite feel like it's the death of that. Maybe you think it is, but the skulls are looking the other way. You possibly need to get past, the end of a relationship. Really get over someone. Get over something to get to this next stage where you're truly happy, where you're truly getting what you want. Because being in this depressive state is not getting you anywhere. So that's pretty much what it is. Feel your feelings, but just to be blunt, you got to get over it. You can't be in this awful, sad, depressive, just crying longing for someone who did you wrong state anymore. Because you want to be happy, you deserve to be happy, right? Okay. So why the tower fell? Okay. So we got 9 of swords. It just seems like someone's hurting, but then like a shield up, a barrier. So some sort of ineffective communication when it comes to um, your anxieties, your emotions. Um, since I'm talking to water dominant charts, it could be there on their side. But just feels like no matter how hard they tried, like there was never a good communication when it came to how they felt, or maybe you were just really defensive. Someone was really defensive, really sensitive, and always getting their feelings hurt. So what can you learn? Okay, we got the 2 of Wands here. She's just turning her back on this, and I just keep hearing turn your back on it. Just turn your back on this situation because there was a lot of pain, and you want to be happy, right? This is where you want to go. So it's time to turn your back on it, release yourself from the pain, cry it out if that's what you got to do. But it's time to leave this shit in the past. It's time to let it die. So next we're going to go, well, what's next? So we got the 9 of Cups. This looks like Aladdin with the magic carpet ride thing. Oh, no, wait. A Whole New World. That's what it is, that scene. So, seeing this card, there's freedom. You know, I was thinking it's romantic, but that kid looks like it's just a pain in the back. Like, something on your back that, you're flying up in the sky. You really shouldn't have this on your back. Like, and it's like for some reason you don't know. Like, you feel like it's like you feel like you're good, but you don't realize that it's still on your back. So you have freedom, but you still need to release. And we got the World. It's time for that whole new world. It's time to release. It's time to feel good about yourself. It's time to be proud of who you are. Because with all this damage up here, it could really take a toll on your self-esteem. So, feel good about who you are. Release all this. I keep wanting to say trauma, so I'm going to say it. Release all this trauma, possibly abuse, because that's sort of going through my head too. Release all of that and find your strength. So, good quality about you, because I think I said this at the beginning of the Fire Dominant. I just wanted to put some love out there, and because a lot of people that are going through a tower could be losing confidence and all that. So, just throwing out a good quality about you in this reading. The Knight of Wands. I was focused on the person, but I feel like you're that ghost. The level of support you give. Like, the other ones look like they're just watching. There's one that almost looks like he's attacking, but this one feels like it's the water dominant people. Like, they're to catch when they fall. Like, literally, the level of support you give is unmatched. And maybe this person didn't appreciate it. That's fine. You know, someone will. Someone will. Okay? Don't let yourself get down just because someone didn't appreciate you. You need to appreciate you. Know your value and what you bring to the table. Okay, so next we're going to go on to Earth dominant signs. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. Okay, Earth dominant charts. We are doing a tower spread basically, where I ask what was the tower, why it fell, what you learn, what's next, and I wanted to put in something positive in this kind of emotional reading because towers are usually like, okay, they can be good, they probably needed to happen, but usually if you're just going through it, it can be a very sad time. So I wanted to put in something good and say a good quality about you. Just as a reminder, if your self-confidence is taking a toll. So, what was the tower? So, we got the Ace of Wands as your tower. So, with the Ace of Wands, you had something that just felt, it wasn't just a spark, it was a whole ass fire, right? Like, strong passion, like, and you can see in the beginning, the light's very bright here, but there's not really any light up here. So for some reason, the light just died out. The spark just died, and it's like you burned so hot that you burned out too quickly. And now you're just wondering, okay, well, why? So let's get to it. Why the tower fell? What you're wondering what happened, blah blah blah, you know? So why? Why the tower fell? We got the King of Cups. So with this King of Cups. Okay. This King of Cups is not touching the cup. Usually they're holding the cup. So you or the other person was not in touch with their emotions. Whether that be expressing how you feel, being honest, or it could be being honest about how you feel with them or with yourself. Maybe you were scared of getting hurt, so you didn't let yourself be too emotionally vulnerable. Or maybe this wasn't really as big as you played it out to be. I could see it going both ways. This is a general reading, so what can you learn? But either way, it's just something about it not being in touch with the emotions, basically, not an honest display of how the emotions are, what was felt from either you or the other person. So what can be learned from this? The sun. Okay, see how this one is much more yellow, much more bold, much more confident. So these are kind of dark, kind of earthy and all that. Which, you know, I'm talking to earth dominant people. There's nothing wrong with earthiness, but with this sun card, how bright it is, what you can learn is don't have confidence in your feelings. Like if you feel strongly about something, put in the effort. If you don't, then don't. Don't waste your time, don't waste their time. You should be confident in how you feel about something and go after it if you feel that way. And if it doesn't want you, well, you tried, right? So, what's next? We got the Fool. Well, we're starting a new journey, so The fool does look a little confused here, but you got a little cute dog there to help guide you. It kind of feels like he's just saying, you do know there's a cliff there, right? There's even beings up above his head looking at him. It feels like, yes, you're about to start this scary journey, but people have your back. Maybe you don't really know where you're going, what you're going to do, and you don't really have a plan for what you're doing next. But people do have your back, is what I'm saying off of this. So good quality about you. The moon. Okay, so with this moon card, I like to think this is talking about honesty here. So maybe the other person wasn't, or was a person who wasn't being emotionally honest, because the people are in the light. And it's just like, no matter how tempting that dark is, the secretive nature, you stay in the light. And that can be about honesty. That can just be about in general, like no matter how much you go through, you stay in the light, because you can ground it, you can feel it, you can ground it, and you realize that you don't want to be in the dark, right? Okay. So I'm going to take a short break, but then we're going to do air dominant charts. Let me see. Oop, I cannot hit that pause. Okay. Hey, this is. I'm not starting the video. I just paused it. I'm sorry. So this is for the air dominant charts. Awkward start, but my air signs can be awkward. I'm sure you'll forgive me. I'm actually an air dominant chart myself. So, anyway, now that I'm done laughing at myself. So what I'm doing in this video for you guys, I don't know if y'all caught it because I started talking about it in the beginning of the fire reading. So, what was a tower? Oh, it's a tower reading. What was a tower? Why the tower fell over? What can you learn? What's next? And I just wanted to throw some love out there, because when you're going through like a tower moment, even though it could be for the best, probably is for the best actually, um, you could be suffering. Your confidence could take a hit. So I just want to say like something positive about you, a good quality about you. So anyway, let's get to the reading. Hope you guys like it. So what was the tower? Five of Pentacles. Just really not seeing eye to eye. Like, this guy's looking straight at that ghost. Excuse me. I don't know how well you can see it, but and that ghost is looking in another direction. Like, it's giving all kinds of offers with the pentacles on the ground, and it's like that ghost just does not care. And it's time. It was just time to move on, because this just wasn't working. You had two different views, and they didn't want to stay, or you didn't want to stay. Either way, I'm going to assume that this is them, since you're upset about the tower. They just, they were looking for something else. Like, I don't like, I'm really struggling saying what's popping in my head, because it's like, I don't like saying they were looking for something else. I don't want you to like get insecure or anything. It's just, well, I'm dealing with air dominant people, so rational, right? Logic. Let's say you were looking for an orange. Would you buy an apple? So let's just say you were an apple and they wanted an orange. So, you know, it is what it is. Did I say you were an apple and they wanted an orange? There are people who do not like oranges at all and want apples. There are people who like both. There are people who don't like either. Nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just how that worked out. Honestly, I was just thinking, oh, I got a message and it's like, going through my head, but then felt like I needed to say it. So maybe for some, maybe for all, maybe for none. I don't know. But it felt like there was an part of the attraction was them being emotionally unavailable. And that was part of the problem because they were emotionally unavailable. They weren't there, you know? You thought you can make them there, you know? So why the tower fell? That strength. It just, yeah, the heart was just ripped out. Like you gave, and you got nothing in return. So eventually, it just had to fall because there was not reciprocating energy here. It was too one-sided, and you know they didn't even want to be here. Kind of fucked up, but it's kind of like you were just something to do for a little bit. I'm gonna have to be extra nice on the good quality thing because I'm not really pulling punches. I'm sorry, but you know, I try to be nice, but sometimes I'm a little blunt. What can you learn? So this card. This one doesn't even have a name. I think it's like a special card to this deck. There's like water bubbles in this, but it kind of looks airy, like a ghost type of thing. I am talking to air dominant people, so you could be someone who values logic over everything else, over feeling the emotion. So yes, it is good to be logical, but also don't be afraid to be in your feelings. Don't be afraid to feel the feels because you got to get it out and you got to feel it. Let yourself be sad. Let yourself get over it. Because they're not going to go away just because you think of reasons why you shouldn't feel that way, you know? So what's next? So we got the Two of Cups here. So I feel like you're already thinking of another relationship. You're already thinking the next romantic offer with this Two of Cups. But this Two of Cups is saying, before you go on to the next one, you need to water your own plant. You need to feed your own soul. You need to give to yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to be confident in yourself as a person. You need to be good. You need to be in a place where you're not going to just be willing to suffer because you want a partner, basically. So you need to get yourself to a good place. You need, like I said, you need to feed your soul for a while. I feel like this card is just saying, give to yourself. That romantic offer you want to give to someone else, well, give it to yourself. Do things for yourself. Like, there's a plant here, you know, like giving flowers. Well, hell, get yourself some flowers. Ain't no shame in it. Get yourself some flowers because you don't need anyone else to do that. Okay, so good quality about you. So with that Six of Pentacles, I just hear wisdom in this. You could be a very wise person. It kind of looks like a shaman. You could be a spiritual person, possibly. someone who very in touch with like spirit animals or something. But I just heard wisdom, like a shaman was a person that people would seek for advice in a village. So people look to you for your wisdom. So don't. I feel like maybe you could be questioning your intelligence because why didn't you see this situation? But you actually do have a lot of wisdom, and you sometimes shit just happens. So don't beat yourself up too hard. All right. Okay. So I'm starting to trip up on my words. I think I'm done for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it helped. Let me know if you liked it. Maybe I'll keep doing this spread. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Let me know though. Okay. Anyway, you guys have a lovely day.